giants are going to attack this Fortnite island very soon. If you went to speak with Jade, she says, I can feel this great slow heartbeat in my chest alongside my own. I think it's the heartbeat of the island itself. At this point, we know that Jade has some kind of special powers, especially now that she has been to the spirit realm. I mean, she says it herself. I can feel this deep magical connection to the spirits and the island. It's amazing. See, one thing about Jade, the reason why she has this magic power is because she comes from a family who pretty much brought magic to the Fortnite island. In fact, she says that this dark presence inside of the spirit realm knew her family members. She says that the spirit realm wasn't dark or evil, but there is a dark presence there. It knew me, my family's bloodline, and it wants us all, but especially Daigo. Obviously, at this point, we already know that it has captured Daigo and has completely changed him. Why is Jade's family so important? Before we continue, please leave a like, subscribe, and use code SMJM if you want to help me out. See, over 1,000 years ago, before magic was banished from this island, Jade's ancestors used to run a mask shop. In fact, it used to be at the same location as Daigo's mask shop on this island. It is believed that just like how 0 Point Fragment crash landed on the island at the start of chapter 6, it is believed that same thing happened back then as well. But unlike chapter 6, back then they did not have any portals connecting to the spirit realm. Other than the 0 Point chart, there wasn't really any kind of magic happening around the island. Straight after the crash, the mask makers goes and takes this 0 Point, brings it back to the mask shop. Now that they have this power, things are about to change very soon. The mask makers start experimenting with this mysterious object. And then they start to combine their mask making skills with the 0 Point power, and they end up with this special mask. And we have seen what this mask has done to Daigo. Same way, it slowly starts to corrupt the mask makers. Night Rose, who has actually experienced this corruption, when she saw Daigo wearing this mask, she describes him as saying he has fallen through the thrall, meaning he's a slave to this evil power. Also remember, Fletcher Kane's guards described this energy coming from this mask as sinister, something extremely evil. Same energy starts corrupting Jade's ancestors, and they start to make them do things. It constructs portals around the island so the demons can walk through from the spirit realm. And then, before we know it, the island is completely riddled with demons and magical creatures. Like I mentioned before, at this point, mask makers are not the one doing this. It is the evil presence inside the spirit realm controlling them. And the demons start to take control of the island, and the people are not happy, so they start to fight back. And this is the beginning of the Shattering War. And this war went on for hundreds of years. And since there were more humans than demons, slowly start to win this battle. So the evil presence inside of the spirit realm makes the mask maker create giants to fight against the humans. Obviously, the mask maker had the 0 Point shard, so they use it, place them inside of this giant. Then the giant starts attacking humans and the island. Now, during the start of chapter 6, if you went to Nightshift Forest, you would see a bunch of super big arrows and swords laying around everywhere. These were actually used by humans to fight against the giants. This tells us also that humans ended up using magic as well to fight against the giants giants. He actually saw this spell used by Daigo. Remember, he used it during Shogun X versus a Daigo live event, where he turned himself into this huge giant to fight against a Shogun X. Again, this was another extremely long battle, but humans successfully defeated the demons and the giants. You can still see this giant statue on this island. You can see the eyes glowing. Now, we think these are in fact the 0 point shards the Moss Maker used to run these giants. Obviously, magic was banished from the island as well until chapter 6. Now that this evil presence is now here on the island, the reason why it wants Daigo's family is because he knows that they're extremely powerful. This creature wants to use them just like how he did with their ancestors. We think the evil presence wants to bring back the giants. They will most likely be part of this live event that is coming up. For some reason, the demons only took control of locations located on the north and the west side of the island. Almost felt strategic, almost like a formation an army takes before a huge battle. And we all thought that the demons were planning to take control of the entire island. But throughout the season, that did not happen. Certain locations were untouched. It became quite obvious that they're not after this Oninoshima island. They're looking for something way more valuable. And it became quite obvious exactly what they're looking for when Jade was rescued from the spirit realm and she came with some information. She tells us that the 0 point shard that crash landed on the island, which was missing by the way, is actually in fact inside of the spirit realm with this creature she refers to as the evil presence. And this was confirmed by Midas as well. Now the story has completely changed. The demons are in fact looking for the 0 point. Then people start asking, if this evil presence already has the 0 point shard, then why is it still hanging around? Why has it corrupted Daigo? The reason for that is actually explained by Agent Jones. If you went to speak with him at Demon's Dojo, would it tell you that they're looking for the 0 point shard as well? He describes it as it's powerful, chaotic, and prone to being misused by the villain types. If you played Fortnite back in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, you know exactly what he's talking about. We've seen organization and creatures like the Last Reality attack and take control of the 0 point multiple times. It also says he's got a lot of experience with the 0 point, but this is a mess. Again, if you guys don't know, Agent Jones used to work for the Imagine Order, and obviously they controlled the 0 point, so he has a lot of information on this. And the reason why he says this is a mess because he has never seen the 0 point in pieces. Then he explains to us exactly why these demons are still lingering around even though they have a 0 point shard. He says, I don't think this shard is the only one out there. Obviously, a piece of the 0 point is extremely powerful, and it was literally enough to activate this ancient magic. Now, imagine if the demons had the entire 0 point. They would be undefeatable. It looks like this evil presence knows there are more 0 point pieces on this island. I think he knows this because this 0 point shard ended up on this island for a reason. I think it's because the 0 point is trying to piece itself back together, and it has probably chosen this island to do it. Maybe most of the pieces is actually on this island. It's very suspicious that this evil presence knows so much about the 0 point. Maybe he has had some kind of experience before with the 0 point. There are lots of names people are throwing, trying to predict this creature. The Nothing, the Cuba Queen Herald, Geno. I mean, there's so many names. Now that we know that there are more 0-point shards on the island, where exactly are they? The answer to that question can be found in this trailer. Obviously, the 0-point shard crash landing on the island has not just attracted demons, but also the Galactic Empire. Emperor Palpatine's goal is to make the Galactic Empire one of the most strongest and undefeatable organization in the history. Ever since he has learned about the 0 points, he is throwing everything to find and retrieve this object. Now that he knows the whereabouts of this, he has wasted no more time. He showed up with his most powerful weapon, the Death Star, and bunch of Star Destroyers. So even though he has sent bunch of warriors on the island like Darth Vader and set up bunch of outposts and huge locations on the island, he arrived on the island. We did not see the Star Destroyers hovering over the Fortnite island. He was actually out in the ocean looking for the rest of the 0-point shards. But it looks like someone gives him a huge information that the shard is in fact on the island. He changes his mind and starts attacking the island using the Star Destroyers. You can see this hologram message being sent to Darth Vader, preparing for this attack. As you can see in this trailer, this is a glimpse of what is going to happen very soon. You can see the Death Star pointing towards this spot on the island. This location is Lone Wolf Lair. As we all know at this point, there is this statue hidden underneath this building. Now, this statue was part of the Lost Lake location, which was replaced by the Baron's mansion, but you can still see the statue here. One thing about this statue is, in fact, the eyes. Why would they create a glowing eyes? So it feels like the eyes is actually getting brighter and brighter. Don't you think it's weird that the eyes color matches the 0-point color? Now, a lot of people are suggesting that 2 0-point pieces are actually hidden inside of this statue's eyeball. It looks like Emperor Palpatine somehow knows about this. Lots of people are suggesting that this isn't a statue. This used to be a giant powered by the magic of the 0-point. Also, the fact that it was laying right next to Night Shift Forest, where the Shattering War took place. And if you went there back in Chapter 6, Season 1, you would see a bunch of giant swords and arrows. If you think about it, one of the themes of this chapter has been giants. I've seen Godzilla, King Kong, Daigo, and Shogun X turn into this huge giants during the live event. You have giant turtles on the island. Now we've got a huge live event coming up very soon. No, Chapter 6 Season 4 is going to be themed around superheroes. We know Daigo is going to be the main villain as well. So maybe during this live event, we are going to see giants battle on the island. Palpatine is going to be here. Superheroes are going to show up as well. We know this event is going to be a huge, long event and not a mini event. So we know at some point during this event, we will end up inside of the Death Star and we will destroy it. A lot of informations are coming out very soon, so please subscribe to my channel, leave a like on this video. Please use my code SMJM if you want to help me out. My name is Sam Jam. I love you, fams. Peace out.